Hello, so welcome everybody to another hot seat session. I'm very happy that we are doing these hot seat sessions because I get to I get to interact with you guys, whether or not you're in the community. I'm happy to have you guys here. So I'll be taking some questions. There'll be some people who would have wanted to be here today but we're not able to join because of some scheduling issues. Some people booked, but we're not able to join. But I said it will go ahead anyway and probably take their questions. So they sent in their questions, right? And I will be taking them one after the other. So stay till the end. Um, and let's try to see how I can solve these issues as quickly as possible. Um, so our very first question. This person asks how to moisturize and seal with a style on. Also, how to layer my products. How to layer my products. I think that was here. So I'm very happy that this question came up because most people don't know that they can moisturize or that they should moisturize and seal their hair, even when it's in a style. In fact, I find that a lot of people feel like if they are going to enter like a season or maybe a couple of days or weeks where they feel like they won't have time to take care of their hair, then that's a good time to make it into a style. And that's like a free ticket not to do anything to their hair. When the opposite is the case, when your hair is in a style, it's a very, very good time to take care of your hair, and you have to continue to take care of your hair. So that's why I'm very happy about this question because this question is asking how to do it, not whether or not to do it. So we've established that we must, and now we're going to move on to how to do it. So how to moisturize and stay with the hairstyle on. So I guess it depends on the style, but anywhere your hair is, try to apply the conditioner there. So if it's braids, for example, and you pour your conditioner on your palm, you rub it together, you put it on the braids with the attachment. Yes, so you'll be moisturizing and sealing the attachment as well. Does that make sense? Wherever your hair stops, I mean, most of us when we make braids, we don't make our own, like the length of the braids is usually longer than where our hair stops. So wherever you estimate that your hair will stop, that's where you stop with your moisturizing and sealing. And the other part of the question, how to layer the products. So firstly, it's good to spray your hair with water. Water helps your hair be more receptive for a number of reasons. We don't need to geek out on the science, the pH and all that. But just notice that when you dampen your hair with water, like just spray some water on your hair, it absorbs products better. Same with our skin, it absorbs products better. So it's better to start with damp hair and to do it in sections. So you section your hair and take one single section, dampen it with some water, use your conditioner, then an oil or butter. And by oil, I mean a natural oil. The oil doesn't have to be branded. It doesn't have to be just branded just so that you know it's authentic. But once it has an ingredient list, we may be going into other territories that we have to investigate further. But those are the products that generally we should use to moisturize and seal our hair. Plain water, leave-in conditioner, and an oil. Oil, meaning coconut oil, olive oil, sweet almond oil, avocado oil, any naturally occurring oil like that that's extracted straight from nuts or seeds. And then for the butters, it can be also a naturally occurring butter, shea butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, cocoon butter, whatever other type, the other butters out there. But shea butter is the most popular one that we know, and that's great. So the thicker the products you use, the longer you notice your moisture stays inside your hair, that your hair stays moisturized for longer when you use thicker products. So just have that in mind. This actually links to the next question. So someone asked, how frequently should we be reapplying moisture to our hair after wash day? Hmm. I want to say it depends, but let me try to give some more context to explain what does it depend on, so you know what actually applies to you. So I remember when I first started my journey, this thing about feeling your hair, like I'm supposed to automatically just know when my hair is moisturized enough, and when it is dry and in need of moisturizing. And that was very frustrating for me, right? So I can understand where this question may be coming from. Um, so ideally, the telltale way to know is to feel your hair. Is over time you will know when your hair needs to be re-moisturized. But once again, let me say more than that. So there's something that we do at Trust Care with clients that we have on packages at the moment. We try to teach a concept called moisturizing and sealing cycles. It is where we teach you how to know what your own cycle is. If your own is every 2 days, if your own is every 3 days, if your own is every 7 days, if your own is every 6 days. Doesn't make sense. So for most people, you would have to remoisturize sometime during the week. That's, I mean, between wash days. So it does have to be during the week, it can be on weekends, but between, the days that you wash your hair. And I think I should probably give some sort of range of time where we know that if it is so, let me just go ahead and say it. If you have to moisturize and seal your hair every single day, there's something wrong. Either you're moisturizing too frequently, meaning that your hair is in need of moisturizing and sealing too frequently. There's probably a reason why, something wrong about that. Or and then the other side of that spectrum is if you don't moisturize and seal your hair at all for a week, for 2 weeks, that's also too long, right? So ideally it's somewhere between twice a week to 4 times a week, right? And that depends on your product. So the same person can find that their own cycle is every 2 days, depending on maybe the combination of products. Because remember, I said if you're using a thicker butter, a thicker sealant, if you're using coconut oil to seal your hair, you may need to remoisturize more frequently than if you're using shea butter, for example. Does that make sense? So so that's the ideal range. Twice a week to about 4 times a week is yeah, to about 4 times a week is within normal range. And I think over time you would know what your hair prefers. There's a way I describe moisturized hair. When you moisturize your hair, firstly, it will end up being damp, right? By the time it dries out in maybe an hour or two, and you touch your hair and you take a look at your hair, sometimes you can tell that it seems the hair looks like it is wet, but when you touch it, it doesn't feel wet. That's moisturized hair. And over time, that look reduces. It begins to look more and more dry, right? And also, the other way to also know is movement. On day one, when your hair is freshly moisturized, it usually has a lot of movement. Like you can touch it and it will be very more flexible, right? But that movement slowly reduces the more moisture evaporates from the hair. So that's a way to know when it's time to re-moisturize. So if the way we teach this cycle thing, let me just quickly say, if I moisturize my hair on a Monday, and in 4 days' time on Thursday, I notice that it's very dry and in need of moisturizing. That doesn't mean that my moisturizing cycle is 3 days in between, right? Meaning on the fourth day you moisturize. No, you deduct one day out of that, and you moisturize your hair right before it gets too dry. Doesn't make sense. So you don't wait for your hair to become a desperate situation before you go ahead to re-moisturize. So I hope I was able to answer that question pretty clearly enough for you to understand. Um okay, so there's a question here. What styles are protective? So this question is interesting. So I always say that a protective style is not the style in itself. You can make the same style in two different ways. It looks the same to the eyes, but one is protective, the other one would cause you issues, breakage issues. So I give a style, for example, just 10 cornrows on your head. You can make it in a way that's protective, and you can make 10 cornrows in a way that is very destructive, that your edges will fall off, or that you will lose, you get breakage at your ends, or that when you're taking it off, hair would follow your comb when you're done. So it's not about the style itself. There are some styles, but just by virtue of the style, it's not a protective style, right? But there are some styles that can swing either way depending on how you make it. A difference in a set of 10 cornrows, one is protective, one is not. The protective one will be looser, will not be held too tightly. The protective one will also be made in such a way that you can tuck in the ends, and you do tuck in the ends. If you leave the hair out and about, that's part of what can cause or increase the chances of breakage, right? Because as I always say, every single time we touch our hair is an opportunity for it to break. Every single time we touch our hair is an opportunity for it to break. Our hair is just very delicate and very fragile like that. So that's that. There's one more question that says, should I always trim my hair blunt like I see on Instagram? Wow. I'm very grateful for the hair care community on Instagram, people that create content. There are some things that are shown that sometimes misinform. Not, not, I don't think that's the intention to. I don't think the intention is to misinform people, but we're human beings, we're not perfect. So whenever we're saying something that's correct, we may not realize that we're passing another message in another part of the message, that are forming, an opinion in the masses' mind without even knowing it. So yes, there are lots of videos on the internet that show, they're trying to encourage trimming, but a lot of them show trimming done, when the person is sitting down and then you just comb the person's hair all the way back, sleek and straight, and then they just trim across. You hardly see videos of layered trimming where they're trimming in very small sections, or they're trimming kinky hair. Typically, trimming happens after, even if it's kinky afro textured hair, they would have straightened the first. Then they would do the whole, trimming at once, and they would make it either blunt straight, or they'll do that curve as if that's a beauty standard. And if our hair is growing in any other way apart from that, then there's something wrong. But I am here to break it to you that every single strand on our hair is at one stage of its life cycle or the other. A hair strand could be in its growth phase. Another hair strand right next to it could be in another stage, in its resting stage. Do you understand? So they're currently constantly doing different things at different times, meaning that they are not growing, and they're not on the same timetable. They are not on the same timetable at all. And what that also means is that the rate at which it grows is not even across your entire scalp. The texture is the same way that the texture is not even. I'm sure some of you noticed that there's a part of your hair that feels tougher, there's a part of your hair that feels softer, there's a part of your hair that the curls are looser or tighter. So that's natural, that's normal. Our hair is not supposed to grow in one uniform way, right? That if it looks uneven and jagged at the ends, then that's a sign of damage. That's not the case, not all the time. Our hair naturally grows differently according to how it pleases, right? As long as you're not seeing split ends and nothing and all that, your hair is fine. Your hair is fine. And so it doesn't have to be blunt. Like if you make it blunt, just know it's an aesthetic thing. It's not something that has to do with the health of your hair. Does that make sense? Like your hair is unhealthy if it grows out and it doesn't grow out like as a sharp blunt cut, right? So that's why you always have to trim. Like if you do a blunt cut today, in a month, 2 months, 3 months time, it will not be blunt anymore. Same with our nails, we always have to file it because our own beauty standards is different from what biology says. So that's for that. And I think yes, that's the end. I think we've come to the end of this session. How many minutes did we use? Oh wow, 15 minutes, right on time. 14 minutes actually. So if you watch till the end, please make sure that you join our Tresca community. For those of you who are watching the recorded version right now, please make sure to join our Tresca community. Check our Instagram bio to know more, or even this in the description box below to get the link for how to join. Join so that you can also be a part of future hot seat sessions, and you can grab a hot seat where you come with your burning hair care questions, anything that's happening with you right now with your hair. We'll just jump on here just like we did here, and we'll talk about it for 10-15 minutes, and I'll do my best to solve it as quickly as possible. Yeah, so join the community. Also, you'll be able to know about future coaching sessions. You get the link for how to join the hot seats sessions as well inside the community. So that's a benefit right there of joining the community. Also, you get to watch other people. So even if, so for example, today now we don't have anyone on the hot seat in person here, but we have someone that's watching live. So even if you don't have you're not able to join, even if you don't grab the hot seat, you don't have a current challenge, you can always watch the magic happen live, right? And I always say there is yeah, I can see your comments. I always say that there's some magic that happens when you watch other people's problems get solved, because you get to hear questions to things that you didn't even think to ask, and ends up being very insightful for you too. All right, so that's all that I have for us today, and I would see you in the next hot seat session. Bye for now.